Hello. Today we're back in John chapter 6 and we're going to start with verse number 10. And Jesus said, "Make the men sit down." Now there was much grass in the place, so the men sat down in number about 5,000. So we already knew there were 5,000 men. So that means there's women and children. So there's many people there. And remember, Jesus has 5 loaves, that's 5 loaves of bread, and 2 fishes to feed everyone with. And so before he begins, he makes everyone sit down. And the Bible says that there was much grass. Remember, I don't know if you know this verse, but it's in Psalm 23. And the Bible says, "He maketh me to lie down in green pastures." I think it's very special how when Jesus makes people sit down, there is grass there. So he wants them to be comfortable, but also he wants them to follow certain rules of order. He did not just want to throw the food at them. He did not just have chaos or confusion. When Jesus does something, he has a certain plan and he has a certain way of doing it so that everything is done decently and in order. So he makes everyone sit down, and there's 5,000, the Bible says, and Jesus took the loaves, and when he had given thanks, he distributed to the disciples. Jesus' attitude is so wonderful. Jesus has these loaves and these 2 fishes, and he has all of these thousands of people. Now remember, before in verse 9, Philip said that he said 200 pennyworth is not sufficient. And then in that was verse 7, I'm sorry. But in verse 9, Simon said, "There's a boy here with 5 loaves, 5 barley loaves, and 2 small fishes. But what are they among so many?" So Peter's attitude was, "We don't have enough for anything. This isn't enough for anything." But Jesus' attitude was, "I thank God for what we do have." So many times you and I, we complain because we don't see enough or we don't have enough. But Jesus, the Son of God, in fact, he is God. He's thankful for every little thing that's given for his work. And he's thankful to God for these 5 loaves and these 2 fishes that this little boy gave. And so the Bible says he distributed them to his disciples, and the disciples to them that were set down, and likewise of the fishes as much as they would. So he did not give directly to the people. He gave to his disciples, and then his disciples gave to the people. That reminds me of the gospel. Jesus, when he came, he spoke and he told many things, and a few times he told people the gospel. But basically, he did not tell the world the gospel. He told you and me the gospel and told us to tell the world. It's the same way here. Jesus gives us the gospel, but he didn't give that to you directly. He used somebody. Somebody preached the gospel. someone told you about Jesus. Maybe it was a booklet, or maybe it was in person. Maybe it was your Sunday school teacher. Maybe it was your pastor. Maybe it was your mom or your grandmom or your grandpa or your dad. But someone gave the gospel to you. And that someone received the gospel from someone else. And the same way, Jesus is giving bread to his disciples, who then give the bread to those who are hungry. And when they were filled, he said unto his disciples, gather up the fragments that remain, that nothing be lost. Everyone got food. Everybody was filled. Every single person. Not only did they have something to eat, they had enough to eat to fill them completely. And after everyone was filled, Jesus had told his disciples to gather up all the fragments, all the crumbs, all the things that were dropped. And he said, why? So that nothing be lost. This is so important. When we give something to Jesus, like this little boy did, nothing will be lost. It will all count. Jesus doesn't throw any of it away. He uses every single crumb of every single thing that we freely give to him. So he did that, and he said that nothing be lost. Therefore they gathered them together and filled 12 baskets with the fragments of the 5 barley loaves which remained over and above unto them that had eaten. So they had 12 baskets full of leftovers from just 5 loaves and 2 fishes. That's a miracle. Then those men, when they had seen the miracle that Jesus did, said, this is of a truth, that prophet that should come into the world. When they saw this incredible miracle, they knew that Jesus was the one. And Jesus will do things in your life and in my life so that others, it's not that we want others to see how great we are, but we want others to see that Jesus is the one. That's our lesson for today. I will see you next time.